Hey guys, welcome to a 30-minute lower body stretch flow routine. Something you can do if you're a little sore and want to stretch out your legs. Also incorporate some strength, some balance. So we'll get started here in a wide-legged child's pose towards the back of your mat. So bring your toes together, spread your knees out as wide as you wish. Extend your arms out in front of you. And rest your chest and your forehead down to the mat. Press your hips into your heels. And just find yourself here. Thank yourself for stepping on your mat. Breathe into the rib cage. Find gentle movement here in the hips and the shoulders. Be in tune with your body. Stretch the arms by flipping the palms one at a time so the back of the hand is on the mat. Stretching through the triceps and the shoulders. Do the same thing with the other side. Flip your hand so the back of the hand is on the mat. Palm face up. We'll come to a little thread the needle variation here in child's pose. So take your left hand and slide it underneath your chest and your shoulder so you can bring your left shoulder and left ear down to the mat. Just a gentle twist. Gently unthread your needle. You do the same thing on the other side. So re-extend your left hand and slide your right arm underneath and drop your shoulder and ear down to the mat. Keep your left arm extended. Just find that separation between the shoulder blades. Also stretching to the hips. You can unthread that needle. Bring both hands out in the center. Bring your palms together and bend your elbows just so the thumbs are touching the back of the head. Just a deep tricep stretch here. Something a little bit extra. Bring your hands back to the ground. Plant your palms. Lift your hips off your heels and come directly into a tabletop position as we just start to find movement within our body, kind of going into a cat-cow child's pose. Just a little flow. And tuck your toes underneath you and come and sit on your heels. Interlock your hands behind your back, so your fingertips, and bring your palms together. Open your chest and drop your knuckles down to the ground as you lift your hips off your heels into camel. And slowly lower your hips back to your heels. Bring your spine back to neutral. Release your pawns. Go through some wrist rolls. Reverse. Big breath. Arms reach out and up overhead. Palms together. And Anjali Mudra. Bring them down through your third eye. Down to your heart. Then return to tabletop and tap your toes out. Should feel good from the backs of the feet. Cat and cow here, so ground yourself in tabletop. Inhale, arch your belly, drop your spine. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin to your chest. Go back and forth between the two. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Get spinal flexion, move every joint in the body. Add your elbows, your shoulders, your neck. Open your heart as you inhale and look up. Exhale, let it all go. Look towards your thighs, suck in your stomach. Start to walk the hands forward and then round into an upward facing dog by sending the hips to the ground. You can bend your elbows, open your chest, and slowly lower your chest down to the ground. Hands then close to your chest, right underneath the shoulders. Press into the floor, round your spine, send your hips to your heels. for child's pose. So like a wave-like motion, lift your hips off of your heels, round through cat, neutral spine, then arch for cat, bend your elbows, round your spine, send the hips to the floor, upward facing dog, open your chest, bend your elbows slowly, lower your chest down to the floor. Again, press your chest up into upward facing dog. Round your spine as you send your hips to your heels for child's pose. And lift your hips off of your heels back into cat position, arch to cow, open your heart. Round to cat. And step your right foot back, tuck your toes, and just start to press into your heel to stretch through your calf. Go back and forth a few times. And then bring your knee into your chest and step your right foot through both hands at the top of your mat for a low lunge. Straighten your spine, open your chest. You can heel to the right foot out to the right edge of your mat and place both hands on the inside for lizard. So sink into your hip flexor, open your chest, hold your stomach in. Find small movements if you need to, just to open into the hip joint, psoas. Also the front of the thigh. You can leave your left hand down and gently press your knee with your right hand. Try not to sickle the foot too much, just get into the outer hip. You can add a little bit more with the quad stretch by reaching your right arm up to the sky, back behind you to grab onto your left foot. You can bend your left leg, grab your foot. Make it a twist by opening the shoulder. Reach your right arm back to the sky, circle it back to the front, and slowly shift the hips back to a half split, a hamstring stretch. So flex your right foot, straighten your leg, and then send the hips forward back into your lizard. So flowing between the two, hips back to lunge, open the chest, hips forward to lizard. Send it back and forth with your breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lizard. Exhale, half splits. Hold this for a little while longer. And then bend into your right leg again, so shift the weight forward. This time leave your right hand down on the inside of your leg. Reach your left arm to the sky. So use the back of your arm to press against your knee so you can find that opening, and then reach your left arm up to the sky as if you're reaching for the ceiling. Power up to a straight spine so your arms are in a T for gate pose. And then leave the spine straight but move the arms. Bring the right elbow in front of the knee, left arm reaches to the sky, bring your bicep to your ear. Power up to the straight spine again, but straighten your right leg, transitioning to side plank. Bring your left hand down. Right bicep comes to the ear as you open your chest and your shoulder to the sky. So modified side plank, almost a wild thing. Rotate your shoulder to bring your right hand back to the ground and swivel around so you're facing the back of the mat. It's okay, we won't be here long. Step both feet back to plank. Then bring your right knee underneath you. And step your left foot back so it's straight and you can stretch into the calf muscle. And then step your left foot between your hands at the top of the mat for your lunge. So knee over ankle, lift your chest, lean into your hip flexor. Bring both hands on the inside of your legs. Scoot your left foot to the outer edge of your mat. And come to lizard. Just ease into it, breathe. Find movement. Leave your right hand down, left arm reaches to the sky, easy twist. And reach behind to grab your foot if you'd like to incorporate that quad stretch. Pulling your heel closer to your seat, not forcing anything. You can let go, circle your arm back to frame your foot. Shift your hips back into the hamstring stretch, so straighten your left leg, fold forward. You can have a slight round in the spine because we're going to flow from that half split into lizard and back. So inhale, open the chest, lizard. Exhale, round the spine, half split. Just go between the two, working with your breath, stretching into the hamstring and the hip and the groin. Bend back into your left leg for your lunge. Kickstand your right leg towards the inside. Leave your left hand down. Open your chest, reach your right arm to the sky to open up into the hip. Power to a straight spine for gate pose. Leave your spine upright, but move the arms again. So bring your left forearm to your thigh, right bicep to your ear. Feel that whole stretch in the side body. Come back to a straight spine, straighten your left leg. Bring your right hand down to the floor. Left arm comes up and open the chest to the sky for your side plank / wild thing. Look down at your hand so you can bring your left hand down to meet the right. Turn your body so you're back in tabletop position facing the front of the mat. Step back to plank and send the hips up to downward facing dog, your first down dog. Pedal to the feet, move the hips, bend the knees, walk it. Press into your palms to engage your shoulder girdle, press your chest towards your thighs. Come up on your tippy toes and round forward into plank position. And drop your hips all the way to upward facing dog. Open your chest, lift your head back, shoulders away from the ears. Then press into your palms, lift the hips, round your spine back into downward facing dog. It's like another wave-like motion. Up on the tippy toes, round the spine, round forward into plank. Drop the hips slightly, drop the knees, arch into tabletop. Send the hips up to downward facing dog. Again, tippy toes, round forward into plank. Drop your knees, arch your spine. Send the hips up to downward facing dog. And continue like that. Making a wave with your spine, strengthening your whole body and flowing with your energy that you are cultivating in this class. After a final upward facing dog, just send the hips back to child's pose. Tuck your toes, come back up to downward facing dog. Reach your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Open your hips, so stack your right hip on top of your left. Bend your knee, bring your heel to your seat. And open your right hip, but press your right shoulder down to keep your shoulder square to the mat. Then re-square the hips, bring the knee into the chest as you lower the hips, and step your foot between your hands at the top of the mat for your lunge. Arms rise, crescent lunge, back leg straight, knee is off the ground. Find your form here, knee over ankle, shoulders relaxed, stomach in. Start to lean forward, bring your hands back to the ground. Straighten your front leg as you pop into pyramid pose. So bring the sole of your back foot onto the ground. And transition back into lunge. So bend the front leg, open your chest. And go back and forth between the two. Open chest to lunge. Straighten your front leg, push the hips back to pyramid pose. You can bring the front of your foot off the ground. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid pose. So stretching into the back of the legs on both sides. Stay in your lunge. Leave your left hand down. Right arm reaches to the sky. Easy twists with the back knee off the floor. Scoot your right foot out to the right edge of your mat. And you're going to roll onto the outer edge of your left leg and lower your hip down to the ground so you should feel a tremendous stretch in your IT band. Lift your hips back up to the sky. Circle your arm back so both hands are on the inside of your leg. Walk your hands towards the long edge of your mat, facing the left, and come into Skandasana, so still bending into your right leg. But straighten your left leg, come up onto the heel, and sink your hips. You can leave your hands on the floor for support. Just press the back of your arm against your knee to get a little bit more space. Try to open your chest as much as you can, and a full expression would be to bring your hands to your heart. My back is to you, but my hands are on my heart right now. Place your hands back on the ground. Rotate yourself so you're back facing the top of the mat, back in your lunge. Frame your foot with your hands, so one hand on either side. And shift directly into Warrior 3. So into your standing leg, walk your fingertips forward and lift your left leg off the ground behind you. Start in a supported position, and eventually hands come off the floor and you are parallel with the ground, like a letter T. Find your focus, find your balance. Bend your standing leg and step your back foot back to a Warrior 1 position. So sole of the foot's on the ground, heel to arch alignment. Reverse your warrior. Left hand is on your back leg. Right arm reaches up to the sky. Then bring your bicep to your ear. Flow into Warrior 2. So straight spine, arms come out to a T. Straighten your front leg and shift your toes so they're facing forward. I'll turn around to face you guys, but toes facing forward. Hips square, stomach in, chest open. Start to just fold forward into your wide straddle forward fold, leading with your chest. Eventually, hands come to the floor. Shift the weight into the toes. Let the head hang heavy here. And just make this more passive. You can bend the knees as much as you need to. Just allowing the blood to rush and the back to release. Slowly come up about halfway. Walk both hands to your left as you pivot and step your foot back to plank and then up to downward facing dog. So you're facing the top of your mat again. This time left side, left leg reaches to the sky, three-legged dog. Open your hips, stack your left hip over your right, bend your knee to bring your heel to your seat. Press your left shoulder blade down. Look between your hands, re-square your hips and step your left foot back between your hand. Rise to your crescent lunge, arms up, back leg straight, heel is off the ground. Bring your hands back down to the ground to frame your foot and pop into pyramid pose. Straighten your front leg. Bring your back heel to the floor. Fold forward. And look forward, bend the front leg. Come back to your lunge, open your chest. And go back and forth between the two. Inhale, open chest. Exhale, Parsvattanasana, pyramid pose. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. You can bring the front of your foot off the ground. Leave your right hand down, left arm reaches for easy twist. Roll onto the outer edge of your both legs, your left and your right leg, and lower your hip down to the ground. You can bring your hand to touch your leg. And lift your hips up to the sky as you turn back around, both hands on the inside of your foot. Turn your body. We'll start to walk your hands to the middle, to the right. Still bending into the left leg. Your right leg's extended. Come up to the heel for Skandasana. Hands supporting you or hands at heart center. As you press the back of your arm against your thigh and sink your hips low to the ground. Bring your hands back to the ground as you straighten to your legs. Turn your body, walk the hands back so you're back in your lunge. And walk the hands forward so you can come directly into a supported warrior 3. Find your gaze, bring your hands to heart center, lift your leg, bring your body parallel with the ground. Step your back foot back. Reverse your warrior, right hand down, left arm reaches up and over. Move the arms back. Straighten your leg. Pivot both toes to the right so they're parallel. Arms overhead, palms together, bring them to your heart. Same, scoot your feet in a little bit closer, heels in, toes out. Then just bend the knees and sink into Malasana, Yogi squat. So dependent upon how open your hips are, will depend on how wide your stance is. So just find movement here. Bring the back of the arms against the thighs, press them out with your elbows. Sink your tailbone, stomach in, open your chest. We'll find some binds. Bring your left hand in front of you out to the side as you reach your right arm to the sky. So really open your chest. Try to reach your right arm to the ceiling and then back behind you. You could stop there or find the full bind by bringing your right hand back behind you, behind your low back, and wrap your left arm around the outside of your thigh so your hands will clasp behind your low back. And you look up to the ceiling and over your right shoulder. You can take it a step further with a balancing pose by scooting your feet in closer, leaving your right foot on the ground, coming up onto your left toes, and slowly powering up to a standing balancing pose. Not sure quite what this one is called. Leave in the comments if you know the name of this pose. It kind of reminds me of Bird of Paradise, but not exactly. Excellent. Slowly lower back down, or you can pause and try your hand at that. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. So just reset yourself. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So bring your right hand out to the side in front of your right foot. Left arm reaches up, either for the sky. You stay there or come to your bind, wrapping your left arm behind your low back, reaching your right arm around the outside of your leg, clasping hands behind you. Then walking your feet in closer. This time, the left foot is your anchor. Left leg is solid. As you come up on your tippy toes on the right foot and slowly come to standing. Trying to come nice and upright. Lock out that standing leg. Open chest. And lower yourself down carefully as you release your bind. Very much into the shoulders, and the hips. After your Malasana, plop on down to your bottom. Just bring your hands behind you, fingertips facing forward. Bring your feet about hip width apart. Just do some windshield wiper with your legs. So bring both knees over to the left. And then through the right. Really make that connection, that S shape with your legs as you come through the center. Then stop in the center. Lift the hips up and the chest up. Drop the head back, reverse tabletop. Lower back down. We're going to do that same movement, but adding a little bit more. So that same S-shaped movement, bring your legs and knees to the right. This time bring your left hand around to look behind you, a full twist. And same thing, circle through center, bring both knees to the left, bring your right hand around. So it's that full range of motion, that S shape with your legs, both hands behind you as you look behind you. And come through the center to the other side. Stop in the center. This time straighten both legs. Zip them up together. Point your toes. Bring your hands directly behind your butt. Fingertips facing forward. Push into your hands. Straighten your arms. Lift your hips. Lift your chest. Reverse plank. Lower your bottom down. Return your spine to neutral. Bend your knees, feet flat on the ground, and you can slowly lower down as you bring your knees into your chest. Do some circles, massage your lower back. Reverse direction of your circle. Feel your spine supported by your mat and the ground underneath you. When removing pose, straighten your left leg and flex your foot so your calf muscles on the ground. Bend your right knee and interlace all 10 fingers below your kneecap. Pull your knee to the side of your shoulder towards your armpit. Keep your shoulder blades down, your elbows in close, and slightly tuck your chin to your chest. Try to flatten your spine against the mat. And then ground your left hip with your left hand and just bring your knee out to the side a little bit more. And half happy baby. Keep the knee bent, but grab the outside of your foot and pull your knee towards the ground as you try to keep that left hip grounded still. You can extend the leg to full happy baby. Bend your knee back and then make it a twist. So bring your right arm out to the side, slight bend the elbow. Hold onto your knee with your left hand as you bring your knee over to the left and look over your right shoulder. Keep your shoulder blades rooted on the ground. Just feel the twist in the body. Breathe. As we're winding down for our practice, just check in with yourself during these moments of stillness. Just enjoy this time to just be still, be in your thoughts, be in your body. Come back to center. We'll just switch sides. Bring both knees back into the chest. This time extend your right leg, flex your right foot so the calf muscle is on the ground, and keep your left knee bent. Interlock all 10 fingers over your kneecap and pull your knee into your shoulder, so completely to the side of your torso. And really find that compression in your abdomen. Release your pull, but ground your right hip with your right hand. Hold on to your knee with your left hand and pull it out to the side just slightly to open the hip. Then come to that half happy baby. So grab the outside of your foot, pull your knee in towards the mat. And extend the leg if you need to, or just keep it bent. Time for your twists. So grab onto your knee with your right hand, open out your left arm, bring your knee to the right. As you look over your left shoulder, try to keep both shoulder blades on the ground. Find where your body has those little limitations. And don't get discouraged. Just see it as something to work through and work towards. Maybe one side's a little stickier than the other. For this pose, just allow gravity to help you. So shoulder blades may not be completely on the ground. And try to get them there. Stretching through the intercostal muscles of the spine. Release. Bring both feet back to the ground. Windshield wipe the legs as you have your arms open, heart open. Come to your final pose for this practice, Shavasana. Extend your legs long, heels in, toes out. Arms come alongside your body with your palms face up. You can close your eyes, melt into your mat, absorb and seal off your practice. Talk to yourself. Until next time, thank you so much for joining me. Take as much time as you need. Namaste.